and happy to be joined now by Maria Martin. She was with us for a few days last week because, I mean, it was just sports news after sports news here in Atlanta, and you are looking well-rested.
Oh, that's really nice of you. Because I don't feel well-rested.
It's just been
It's
so
the ultimate
busy.
compliment. Yeah, no.
I mean, you cannot relax. You cannot sleep on Atlanta sports news. I mean, let's start with Gainesville High School.
Yeah.
Because they had such an incredible run in the postseason, but their runner-up title just got stripped.
Yeah, because there was an ineligible player in one of their games, which is just the ultimate letdown for a team that had to overcome so much adversity in the postseason.
Yeah.
And they had so many internal battles with the GHSA throughout that entire run. And it's miraculous that they went as far as they did in the midst of all of that, and then all to be stripped away from their runner-up state title. It's really unfortunate. It's unfortunate for the kids who put in a lot of work throughout that, but rules are rules, and the GHSA, they will find out if you're doing something that you shouldn't be.
I guess so, and I think questions going to be asked over how did this happen in a game with such high stakes, but that's for further down the road.
For sure.
All right, I know a lot of you want to know about the Falcons, and Maria was there yesterday as they introduced Matt Ryan as the new president of football. Is that the title?
President of football, yeah.
All right, what
it's
was
a new
it?
one.
What was it like being there? And I mean, what was that welcome like for Matt Ryan coming home?
It was great because I've been around Matt for a really long time now, and so it just felt very familiar, although it was different in the sense that he's not a player anymore. He's now an executive. That feels a little bit weird. Might get some time to get used to that. But it was cool because his boys were there, as everybody knows. They call them the Ice Cubes. I don't know how long we're going to be able to call the twins the Ice Cubes, though, because they're getting older. They're 7 now. So there's them, and then Cal is the little one. He's almost 3, and
Cool.
he was... I'm going to say contributing, okay? He was contributing to the press conference a couple different times. He did great. It was an hour long. That's a long time for an almost 3-year-old. And his wife, Sarah, was there as well. So it was very much a family affair. It was awesome. I think that Arthur Blank had a lot of really amazing things to say about Matt. He always has ever since they drafted him back in 2008. But this is a guy who had no idea that Atlanta was going to become his home when he was drafted in 2008. He literally came to the city of Atlanta 2 times before he ever got drafted. That's it. He had no familiarity with the city, and now it's everything that Matt Ryan is. And so I think that he is the perfect person to be this president of football. That's also a new term that people are going to have to get used to. It's a first ever role for the organization, and it was just a fantastic day.
I think he's going to be perfect for this role, and I think a lot of people agree with you there, but, you know, no front office experience. Is that a hurdle he's going to have to overcome? Was that an elephant in the room yesterday, or is it just kind of like, you know, he's the hometown hero now. Let's welcome him back to salvage the Falcons.
Well, if it was an elephant in the room, my bad, Matt, because I asked the first question, and I asked him about not having any experience in the front office. Yeah, because you do have to address that, right? You know, his football acumen and his football experience, it speaks for itself. He did it his entire life. And I think that especially at the quarterback position, you know so much more about the field and the game and every single position on the field because you have to than other players on the field. And so I think that speaks for itself. And he can identify and relate to the players in a way that a lot of executives can't. Now, when it comes to the executive experience, yeah, that's going to be a learning curve, as it would be for anyone. But his response to me was, there's a first-time hire for everything. And it's true.
Yeah.
You're a head coach for the first time at some point in your career. You're an executive for the first time at some point in your career. And he's been doing his homework for a really long time, which is impressive.
Look, I'm curious to know how his hiring is going to influence Atlanta's ability to attract top talented coach. Does that mean something if Matt Ryan is calling you up and asking for the interview?
I think that depends. That's a good question. So if you're a long-time established coach, I don't really think it does anything for you. In fact, it may deter you to a level because there is no experience there in the front office. But Matt is such a personable guy, and he's someone that's so well-connected that I think those are the type of hurdles that he can easily overcome. I do think in some scenarios it could be to his detriment because if you've got a long-time established head coach with a lot of experience in the National Football League, he's going to look at Matt and say, well, what can you do for me? Because you've never done this before.
Right.
And it could be helpful to those coaches because they may feel like they can manipulate Matt in a certain way, although I don't think they're going to be able to do that. Matt has a very clear vision in what he wants for this organization. That was a big message and a big talking point yesterday is that he has expectations. He's always had them ever since he got drafted. It was to be a champion and win championships. Unfortunately, that never happened for Matt here. And so now he gets the opportunity to still win a Super Bowl ring just as an executive. So, you know, there's some hurdles for him to overcome, but I think overall, the overarching thing that I want Falcons fans to take away is this is very positive because you finally have someone in there that's not afraid to make the hard choice.
All right, and a hard choice is going to be made in, what, do you think maybe a week or two? Do you think we could find out who the head coach is?
Well, there's a lot of pressure on certain people when it comes to established head coaches that are looking for jobs. I'm talking about John Harbaugh. He's interviewing in person with the Giants today, and the Giants have an ability to hire him on the spot. They are the only team in the NFL that has completed every single thing on their bullet list in order to hire a head coach. So there's a chance the Giants are going to do everything they can to allow him not to walk out of that building today. Now, I will say it has been very well documented. John Harbaugh is interested in the Falcons. He's interested in a couple of different spots, and this is, as we have illustrated over the last week, a very intriguing job, especially for a John Harbaugh. So Matt's going to do everything he can. I mean, they were talking about his tenacious nature, how he was on the football field, but they said, listen, you guys aren't in these rooms when he's doing these interviews. He's tenacious. He's just as tenacious as he was on the football field. So I think he's going to be also very aggressive, but it's important to remember that as this head coach search heats up around the National Football League, that creates a little bit more pressure on the Falcons to get it right and get the guy that they want in here.
It got a little more complicated yesterday with Mike Tomlin announcing he's leaving the Pittsburgh Steelers after 19 seasons. I mean, he's like 50, early 50s, so he's got some gas left in the tank. So now you got the Pittsburgh job open. You got Baltimore. You mentioned the Giants, Tennessee, Arizona, Vegas, Miami, Cleveland. Where does Atlanta rank for most attractive jobs now that you got some of those bigger ones open too?
I'd say they're probably top 5 still. You know, I would have said earlier whenever this first started happening and you and I first started documenting this, they were probably top 3, top 2. But now they slide a little bit because you've got some serious postseason contenders that are open and long-time jobs that you never look at the Steelers and think that that job's going to be open. And you never thought that Mike Tomlin was going to step down. I say that in air quotes because who knows what actually happened there. The pressure was on Mike Tomlin for a long time for him to step aside. And who knows if he's going to continue coaching, but I still think Atlanta's an attractive job. The biggest question mark now for Atlanta, which is the one that was the biggest question mark in the beginning, but when you compare it to other head coaching jobs, it starts to get a little bit more of a circle on that question mark, is the quarterback position. Some of these established head coaches are going to come in here and say, well, what am I supposed to do with this? Some may like it. Some may see it as a challenge they want to take on. And some may say there's better openings out there with more established quarterbacks.
So that's the challenge. What are the opportunities for the incoming coach with the Falcons?
I think there are plenty, you know, and Matt illustrated a couple of them. Number one, he said he really likes how young and good the defensive side of the ball is. Who would have said that about the Falcons even just 2 years ago? So I think putting in those young pieces in place, having a rookie that gave you 10.5 sacks this year in James Pierce Jr., that's a really big sign that there are great things to come on that side of the football. On the offensive side, you got a once-in-a-lifetime player in Bijan Robinson. You have Drake London, who presumably is going to be healthy next year. I don't know what's going to happen with Kyle Pitts. He could be an Atlanta Falcon. He could not. It's possible. But you've got a lot of pieces in place that can take you to the next step. Okay. It's the quarterback position that's concerning. And hilariously enough, Matt Ryan, now an executive, played with Jake Matthews, who is on the offensive line for the Atlanta Falcons. That's going to be weird. It's going to be weird for Jake,
circle.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. He protected him back in the day, and
Isn't
let's see
that
what
hilarious?
Matt does for him. That's funny. Look, never a dull moment. I love watching a good coaching search, too. The carousel's so fun, and I know you'll keep us surprised as things develop.
You know what's crazy, Dan? I don't watch reality TV, contrary to popular belief. It's because I don't have to. Like, this is my reality television. I love it. I love sports. I think it's so dramatic.
Yes.
It's just as good as The Real Housewives, in my opinion. In fact, it's more entertaining sometimes because these guys can get a little crazy. So buckle up because I think it's going to get wilder than it is right now.
I'm with you. I've been telling my wife the same thing, but she's still watching Love Island or whatever.
What's your wife's name?
Kelly.
Kelly. We're going to have to get you on this coaching carousel news.
All right. Great to have you, Maria.
Thank you.
Thanks.